say good morning to the water cooler. We are so excited that you can be here. We've got a great lineup this morning. And Zoe Rinker with the Savannah Tree Foundations, she's going to be co-hosting with me because for some reason this morning my internet is not working real great. So I might get kicked off. So anyhow, we've got a great lineup. Yeah, thank you, Zoe. Thank you. So let's just jump right in and tell us about your big headlines with the Savannah Tree Foundation.
Sure. So we're excited because planting season is here. So planting season officially started last week on November 1st. We've already jumped in with a tree giveaway. We gave away 500 trees over the last week, thanks to State Farm and the Arbor Day Foundation. So we kicked it off, and we're coming up with a tree planting this Saturday. We'll have another one at Wormslow in January 27th, and I'm sure a couple in between. So if you're wanting to get out and plant a tree, either with us or on your own property, now's the time. And just check out our website on our calendar for all of the upcoming opportunities. So.
Yeah, and I want to thank you so much for this past Saturday with the Rotary Club of Savannah and arranging the tribute tree that we planted out at Bethesda. That's a lovely service that we hold every year. And
yeah, and it's one of my favorite. It's a beautiful spot and it's a beautiful idea. And I think it's, like we said, I think memorial plantings are some of my favorites. So happy to do that, and really just happy to get out and get back in the field after a really hot summer. So
awesome. Do you want to talk about the nursery, or do you want to?
Sure, I'll talk really quick. So the other exciting thing going on at Savannah Tree Foundation right now is we are starting a community tree nursery. We're going to grow our own trees. So for those of you who've been out to one of our tree giveaways, we give away 3-gallon trees, which tend to be between 4 and 6 feet tall. They're great for personal planting for people who are maybe new to tree planting. And the downside is they're really hard to source. So to help with that issue, we're going to start growing our own trees, native trees to the area, hopefully eventually grow from seed and really get trees that are resilient and tolerant to the conditions here in coastal Georgia. There's not a ton of tree nurseries here in coastal Georgia. So we're really excited about that. We're fundraising right now for the capital expenses, just some basic infrastructure of irrigation and weed mat. It's going to be open to the public for volunteers, and really hopefully people can come in and help us get started. We'll be starting in Q1 next year. So January, we'll start build out and hope to have the first seedlings planting in March for the first giveaway in next November. So we hope next Trick or Trees in October of 2024 will be trees that we grew, which is pretty cool.
Boy, and you're planting so many trees around Savannah. There's such a huge loss of trees from all the construction. So thank you for that mission.
Yeah, in the last 5 years, we've planted or given away 3,300 trees, over 3,300 trees. So, and hopefully with the nursery, we'll be able to double that in the next 5 years.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Zoe. We are going to pull on Danielle and Perfect. Frank. Hold on a second. There's Frank. Let me find in the backstage. Hello. There you are. Welcome to the water cooler. You guys have a new show coming up called All Things Savannah. Tell us about it.
We do. All Things Savannah is really an intimate kind of a cocktail party podcast with a lot of interesting folks who are local, and they might slip under the radar of other media outlets. There are lots of people, though, who have really amazing stories. And so they contribute so much to the charm of Savannah. They are who we are. And we want to talk to them. We want to sort of elicit those stories. These are people that we all meet every day, really. People who, when we're walking streets downtown or other places, we run into them. They're professionals, they're artists, they're folks who wait on us at tables, but they all have these captivating, here to there or there to here stories. And so that's really what we're trying to do, is to bring those out and let everybody know about them.
So you're going to be doing a deep dive.
We are. We're going to be probably a 45-minute live stream each week on a Wednesday, live streaming from the Bluff Hotel in the Historic District.
Very good. Let me show everybody your promo shots here. There we go. There's Frank and Danielle. And tell us about this place.
Danielle, I'll let you do that.
Okay. So the site of this hotel is actually apparently the landing spot where Tomochichi and Oglethorpe first got together. So it's part of the bluff. It's not the highest point on the bluff, so it's not that 40-foot point. But this is the story of this actual spot. So I don't know how long the bluff has actually been there, the hotel itself. I think, Frank, was it a Days Inn or it was something else at one point?
It was a previously owned property, right? It was one of the chain properties.
Right. So they're trying to revitalize this spot a little bit and kind of get into a boutique hotel niche. And it's a fantastic little spot, and we're thrilled to be there.
Yeah. It's a wonderful place.
So you're going to be looking for guests to be on. How do they contact you to pitch you guys about being on?
So we have an email address, mysavannahstory.com. Do I have that right, Danielle?
MySavannahStory.com is sort of our byline. That's our Instagram. We need to get our social media a little more straightened out here, but info at All Things Savannah is us. So
thank you.
And on YouTube, All Things Savannah. So that's how you find it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your views.
We're interested in hearing from everybody. We have we like to say we have a wide net. We're looking to see as many people as we can, and we run into them sometimes just walking around. So don't be surprised if we got a whole stack of business cards ready to give to people.
So everybody remember, All Things Savannah. That's going to be, we're really looking forward to your all's launch. So, all right. Well, thank you. Hang tight. We got Chris Schuler on the backstage. He's going to tell us about his new award-winning documentary. Hey, Chris.
Marjorie, how are you? Hey, the podcast sounds great. You had me at Cocktail Podcast. That was it. I'm there. Hey, thanks for having me. And I apologize. I'm in New York City, and I'm normally out of Albuquerque, but I'm here and we're touring around with this documentary, which is all about public health. We're going to have a screening there in Savannah. It's going to be at Savannah Tech College this coming Friday. It's covered up there, but it's going to be at 6 o'clock. Oh, no, there it is. Yeah, it's right there. Good job. Marjorie, you're right on it. But it's quite fascinating. We've been working at this for 3 years now. It started during the pandemic, and we were looking at public health issues. And we discovered this thing called the Commission Corps of the Public Health Service. You've heard of the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, Marines. This is the only uniformed service in the world that is dedicated only to public health. And they've been around for 200 years. They eradicated malaria starting in the 1940s. That's why the CDC is in Atlanta. That's why the Surgeon General is the Surgeon General and wears a uniform, because they're a uniformed service in the United States. So we interviewed like 4 of the last 5 Surgeon Generals, traveled all over the country, learned a bunch. When Ebola happened, y'all remember Ebola? The reason it didn't make it here, 400 Commission Corps officers were sent to Liberia to stop it there. That was one of the pictures that you saw there. So it's a pretty amazing story. And we may even get some officers there from the area. We'll have a Q&A afterwards. And I'd like to just say, I'm working with John Grace over at Savannah Tech with their film students. And one of the reasons why we're having this screening, I was there 2 weeks ago, and we were doing a little mini documentary class on how to create documentaries. And they teamed up with 5. You took it. That's how we met.
Yep.
And these students then, this year's students, are doing short mini documentaries for local nonprofits. And they're finishing them up this week. And they will be screening them Friday night along with my film. So we'll all be there Friday night. Come on out. It's 6 o'clock. Afterwards, we'll go to the cocktail party. You guys hosting the cocktail party?
Yeah, we'll be there. I'm planning on being there. It's on my calendar.
And it's free. It's free.
Yeah. That's who knew? I didn't know about that corp. I didn't know that existed.
Nobody does, and they're all over the country, and they're in the CDC, the NIH. Dr. Fauci was a Commission Corps officer, right?
They're actually a launch station at Fort Stewart.
it's mind blowing. It really is an amazing 200-year history, and it's kept us safe. I mean, listen, fresh water, foods. They're in the FDA looking out for all the drugs. They do all this stuff sort of under the radar. That's what we call them, invisible core.
So, Chris, this is going to be played on PBS across the nation, right?
Yes, it launched on PBS in June. Actually, if I recall, it's airing on PBS stations all over the place, and they have 3 years to air it.
Okay.
It did air in Savannah, I believe, last month. I haven't kept track of all the crazy things, but it's been from LA to New York. We go up to Albany for a live screening. We're doing live screenings in select markets where we have good friends and cocktail parties. So why do I keep going back to this? This is sad. I'm in New York. I feel like a cocktail.
Yeah. Well, Chris, thank you so much. I will see you at the screening. Be safe. I know Chris for a number of years now. My daughter lives out in Albuquerque, and when I fly out there, I always try and meet Chris for coffee. And Chris is supposedly retiring, but
yeah, this is the retirement tour I keep saying, but we'll see.
Awesome. All right, hang tight. I am going to now pull on Sue Adler with the Savannah Historic Foundation. Hey, Sue.
Morning. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you all.
Nice to see you too, Sue. You've got a lot going on with Historic Savannah Foundation. Where do we even start?
Well, we'll start with this being an amazing week for us. I'm very excited. On Thursday morning, we'll have the ribbon cutting for our Urban Enslaved exhibit that will be housed in the basement of the Davenport House Museum. This is a project that's been 8 years in the making. It's the culmination of our capital campaign that we started in 2015. The other pieces of the capital campaign, over a year ago, we restored the Kennedy Pharmacy on Broughton Street and opened a beautiful museum shop there. And then a brand new building behind it was built, the Preservation Center, designed by Brian Felder Associates. In that Preservation Center, there's a timeline of the history of preservation in Savannah from beginning till today. And that is a space that anybody in our community can walk into and learn about our important preservation history. And then across the lane is the beautiful Davenport House Museum. And now in the basement, we will have this Urban Enslaved exhibit, which speaks specifically to the 13 enslaved by the Davenports who worked for them every day to help them succeed. And so we're really excited to tell this story. The ribbon cutting will be on Thursday morning, and the opening to the community will be a week from now at 10 o'clock. On Monday, we'll be open to the public to go in and get tours of that along with the tour of the house, which is very, very exciting. Thursday evening, the 9th, the morning is the ribbon cutting, but in the evening, we'll have our 68th annual meeting. This is open to the community. We are, for the first time, doing it in a square. We're not doing it in a building. We're not doing it in any room. We are doing it in the square because I would argue that Columbia Square is our campus. On one side of the square is the newly restored Sheffield building, which houses the headquarters for Historic Savannah Foundation. And across the square is the iconic Davenport House Museum. And so Columbia Square sort of houses the entire institution. And I would call this, I'm going to name it on Thursday night, our Preservation Center for our wonderful city.
Very good. Very good. You want to also do a recap of this wonderful event, the gala that you had?
So we do an annual gala every year in October. It is our largest fundraiser for the institution. You're looking at an image of our incredible staff, the Davenport House staff, and the Historic Savannah Foundation staff. On the left, the tall woman in black is our new museum director, Danielle. You will hear more about her. She's just come to us. She was with Smithsonian. She was with the National Trust. She is a seasoned museum professional. And then I can tell you everybody at the staff. And all the way to the right is Colleen Reynolds, who is the Assistant Director of Historic Savannah Foundation. She actually is the one that put on that beautiful gala almost single-handedly. Our numbers are coming in. We actually net the largest amount we have ever for our gala. As I say, it's an annual signature event for Historic Savannah Foundation. And then you see me, and then there's Ryan Jarls, our Director of Preservation, Sheena Fulkerson, who is in charge of our tours at the house, and Jeff Freeman, who is the operations director, newly named, of the Davenport House. And then Kendall is our education person, and the very tall gentleman behind Colleen is our membership associate. So that's the team. It's a great team. I can't wait for all of you to meet them, and feel free to come to our annual meeting. We'll all be there on Thursday, 5:30 in Square.
Awesome, Sue. Thank you for the recap. HSF is busy, very, very busy. Very good. Okay, next up is Bo Bowen talking about the gala on November 17th. They're going to be honoring 8 different honorees. Hey, Bo.
Hey, how are you, Marjorie?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, I just wanted to take a moment. As you said, our gala is our Savannah Film Alliance Honors Gala, set for November 17th at Victory North. And the purpose of this is really, as opposed to, an award ceremony where you recognize, the best movie or the best actor, and you end up with one happy person and 4 very unhappy people. What we're doing instead is we're taking 8 people that have really dedicated their lives to building the entertainment industry here in Savannah. And we're just taking them and honoring them for their contributions. So just to quickly run through the 8, I wanted to just give, them a little credit today. We've got Reva Grantham, who has been in craft services since, I think, 1995 on 12 Monkeys was when she got her start, but she's been in Savannah since about mostly 2015, and she's just beloved. She works so hard to make certain that every production that comes to town is not only well fed, but just thoroughly enjoys their experience here. We've got Nicalia Hill, who is the young woman up on the top left there. She is relatively new to the industry, and she's working in light, electric, and grip. And everybody that we have talked to that has worked with her has just talked about what a breath of fresh air she is, the positive energy she brings to every set that she works on. And so we're very excited to recognize that type of, energy and just the motivation that she has shown to really make Savannah a great place. Megan Lombardo, directly under her, she wears a lot of different hats. She's a producer, line producer. I believe she's been an assistant director, but she has brought tons and tons and tons of productions to Savannah. She's been instrumental in growing Savannah into the destination it is today for film. Kareem McMichael, he wears all sorts of hats. He's a filmmaker, documentarian. He teaches journalism and mass communications at Savannah State. He's a writer. Again, just so many contributions to the local entertainment industry. Also have Judith Moore with the blue hair that you see down there. Judith is a costumer. She has, again, just so loved locally by everyone that has ever worked with her. She has worked on so many productions, and her costume designs have been just out of this world. We have Mike Neal, who's a marine coordinator and water safety coordinator. Again, one of the most qualified people in the country. I mean, he's a dive instructor, a master captain, a powerboating instructor. I mean, he's got this whole long list of qualifications, but he has become one of the most sought after marine and water safety coordinators in the country, right? And he's right here in Savannah. And so all of these productions, if they have anything at all to do with the water, the ocean, the marsh, anything, you better believe that Mike is right on that. We have Mark Wynn, who is, he founded Alien Works, which is a local production company. He really is, got his start with drone photography. That's what he's really known for. He does a lot of these movies, they start with these swooping drone shots, and Mark has become just one of the best in the world and well renowned for his work with drone photography. But Alien Works certainly does a lot more than that. But I haven't heard anyone on any production that I've represented that hasn't just gushed about the work that Mark has done. And then finally, of course, up there, right, third on the right at the top, that's Beth Nelson. Beth was the film commissioner here in Savannah between 2016 and 2022. And it was under her leadership that Savannah went from, doing pretty well to just an explosion of production where, at any given time, there are just multiple film and television shows thanks to, her leadership and her efforts. So the whole point of this, like I said, it's folks that really have dedicated their lives and their careers to making sure that the entertainment industry is on the move and growing here in Savannah. And they may not get the headlines, they're typically behind the scenes, but for at least that one night, we want to make certain that they get the recognition that they're due.
Well, in 2019, when you had the first one, it was so much fun. I mean, it's a true red carpet in Savannah. And unfortunately, it's sold out.
It did sell out. We even put a few extra tickets on sale and they sold out immediately. But, it's going to be a great night. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bo, for the update. We've got one more guest, Nichelle Hodgkins. Hey, Nichelle.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm well. How are y'all doing?
Good. You've got some important updates about vaccines, adult vaccination.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And Chris Schuler just did a really award-winning documentary on adult vaccinations.
Well, I know. I was listening, and I hope to be at the debut. Well, not the debut, but the screening.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of stuff going on at Healthy Savannah, and as some of you might know, my name is Nichelle Hoskins, and I'm with Healthy Savannah. I'm the communication manager for what is now the adult immunization program, and we just received another 5-year grant. We're so excited, pumped, and busy to get that rolled out. And one of the first things the CDC has charged us to do, and that's where we've gotten the grant, is to talk about the Bridge Access Program. And for the last 3 years, or 2.5 years or so, the COVID vaccine has been free to everybody. But now as we transition to commercial vaccines, of course, people who are insured will have coverage, but those who are not insured or those whose insurance won't cover the full cost of the vaccine are kind of left, hanging, but not really. The Bridge Access Program is supposed to be a bridge to free vaccines for adults. So the places that tend to use this program are like CVS's, Publix, Walgreens, and places like Curtis Cooper, Primary Healthcare, as well as J.C. Lewis, right behind the mall. So everybody should get vaccinated, and there's no reason not to, because everybody should be able to get it for free.
Absolutely. Nichelle, thank you for the update on that. I know.
Marjorie, can I say something? Nichelle?
Yes.
Thank you for doing that work. We did a documentary 3 years ago called Vaccination from the Misinformation Virus. And it was a national program. It rolled out. I learned so much about the history of vaccines, the pushbacks that occurred even in the polio vaccine. It was amazing, the same verbiage as now. And this thing that we're doing now, and I hope to goodness I see you, and I hope you'll bring your friends Friday night at Savannah Tech, because it's all about healthcare versus public health. Two totally different things. Healthcare is after the fact, right? Public health is what you're doing before the fact. And when you look at the fact that 50 to 75% of our healthcare costs in this nation are from preventable diseases, we all know we want to save money. You are doing incredible work. Thank you very much. I hope I get to meet you in person on Friday night.
Likewise, and thank you for getting the word out in a way that we can't. I mean, we know that prevention is cheaper than treatment, and we want to do as much prevention as possible. So thank you.
You're going to love some of these people that we have in the show. And actually, I'm guessing and may not know 3 or 4 Commission Corps officers of the Public Health Service.
Probably.
They sort of fly under the radar, but they're doing all the things that you're talking about. They're in 800 places across the country. Anyway, Marjorie, I'm sorry I get worked up seeing people like this doing great stuff. And Kareem got one of your awards I saw from your big event that's coming up, and good guy there. He was in one of the classes earlier a couple of years ago.
Absolutely.
Oh, have we lost Marjorie?
Yeah.
Let's see if she comes back.
I could go on.
Here she is.
I'm also. Oh,
I think you're back, Marjorie.
I'm back. I know. Oh my gosh. Anyhow, that's the beauty of live. Oh well. You just never know what's going to happen on the water cooler, and it's all okay. So Bo and Chris, have you all met before?
I don't think so. No.
No. But that's great. You're doing great work, and wonderful that you're honoring those folks.
Yeah,
Thank
Bo,
you.
it would be good if you could come to that. Like you don't have anything better to do, but I know you're really busy. But if you could come on Friday to see Chris's screening.
Love to have you there.
Yeah, I'll do my best for sure.
Bo is an entertainment attorney, by the way. So,
Okay. Key.
yeah, he is right. Anyhow, all right, guys. My internet is acting really obnoxious, so let's call this a day. Oh, I do want to hold on before we go. I do want to mention this guy needs a home. His name is John Green. He needs a home, and you can adopt him through the Coastal Pet Rescue. And let's see, I promised, a few more things. This weekend, Slam, Savannah local artists, they're going to be meeting at the Salvation Army. It's on B Road. There'll be dozens, if not hundreds, of local artists displaying their work, perfect for Christmas presents. And then what is this? John Green needs a home. Oh, I want to congratulate End Market for raising $145,000 for leukemia and the Lymphoma Society. And let's see, we already got the Tree Foundation. Wait a second. I also want to give out a shout out to Tommy Holland. He's going to be collecting musical instruments and toys. And for some reason, I don't have the rest of the information. We'll send it out in community headlines next time. So, but anyhow, all right, guys. Any other things that you're hearing in Savannah that you want to share? All right, we are going to end the stream right now.
The game. I like it.
Bye, guys. Thank